How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk more about this China and NBA situation, but more specifically, we got to talk about King James, LeBron James' comments about the whole thing. Now, there is a whole lot to quote unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say, but first, let's watch the clip from LeBron. After we get done with that, I'll talk about what he said. I'll put it in its proper context, give you a little bit of history, a little backstory, give you my 2 cents, my analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
We all talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself. So I don't believe. I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke, and so many people could have been harmed, not only financially but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do. Even though yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, let's talk about what he said here first before we get into the whole China NBA situation. Now, LeBron was talking about Daryl Morey's tweet, and if you don't know who Daryl Morey is, he is the general manager of the Houston Rockets NBA team. He put out a tweet that started this whole thing that was in support of the Hong Kong protesters. Now, to give you a little bit of backstory behind that, Hong Kong for a very long time, like over 100 years, was basically a British colony, although it was right there in China. In 1997, the British basically gave Hong Kong to China, but they gave them a constitution of sorts that was to last for 50 years. So in 2047, these rights that are in this document will pretty much be expired. In the document, they have basically Western civilization rights, free speech, press, all that kind of stuff is in there. However, China is wanting to accelerate the process of Hong Kong becoming yet another Chinese city rather than being a British colony or being a sovereign entity. But Hong Kongers have been living up under the Western situation, the civilization, for quite a long time, and they don't want to get up under the boot of the communist Chinese regime. So they're fighting against what China's trying to do. Maybe they are delaying the inevitable, or maybe they're just trying to regain as much sovereignty as possible before 2047 when everything becomes official. And then if they're not part of China, it can be a serious problem. So they're out there protesting. They have been protesting for a very long time, all throughout this year. And people have been seriously injured. Somebody got shot. They're getting beat down by the Chinese police. It's a real big mess. So Daryl Morey decided he wanted to be super woke, as is the image of the NBA, being super woke and pro social justice, and put out that tweet. However, China and the NBA have a deep relationship. Money, advertisements, manufacturing, all kind of stuff. I'm going to say some things here that I got from Rick Bucher and Jason Whitlock over at Fox Sports 1. And if you want to see that full clip, I'll place that in the box. But basically, you can look at it like this, just in a simple way. Nike runs the NBA. China runs Nike. All of Nike's products are manufactured in China. China basically controls means of production for the entire company. Jordan as well, because Jordan is part of Nike, and really probably every other athletic brand that is out there, but especially Nike. Here's a good image I'll place on the screen before you of James Harden, the leading player on the Houston Rockets, which is the team that started this whole thing because of the GM Daryl Morey. Look at his jersey. It has Chinese letters on it because, again, the NBA and China got a deep bond. It also has a Nike swoosh on it. That tells you everything you need to know right there, which is why it's no surprise when they were just in Shenzhen, China, which is right there at the line of Hong Kong, playing some preseason games. Like just the other day, like 2 days ago, they were just there. It's no surprise when the reporter asked James Harden about the whole Daryl Morey situation. He didn't say anything.
Hi, Christina McFarland, CNN. The NBA has always been a league that prides itself on its player and its coaches being able to speak out openly about political and societal affairs. I just wonder, after the events of this week and the fallout we've seen, whether you would both feel differently about speaking out in that way in future.
Excuse me, we're taking basketball questions only.
It's a legitimate question. This is an event that's happened this week during the NBA.
It's been answered. We're taking basketball.
This particular question has not been answered. James.
Any other questions?
How can you answer? You over in China, first of all, in Shenzhen, which is right there on the Hong Kong border, number one. Number two, you have the Chinese government in the building. You might mess around and get kidnapped, or it's not safe outside of the United States to act like you're an American. You know, the freedom of speech, you can do whatever you want, protest, nah. See, here in the States, people take it for granted. People like LeBron take it for granted. They think, oh, okay, I can wear my I Can't Breathe shirt in support of Eric Garner. I can say things like the tweet on the screen before you. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Hashtag thank you MLK 50. You could say things like that here and it not be a problem. You can go out here, talk about whatever you want. You could talk about how bad you hate Trump and all this, that, and the third here in America, because we have a constitution. We're a Western civilization. We are not a communist regime. But go to China and try that. Try to talk bad about Xi Jinping over in China. They might not see you no more. So you should thank your lucky stars you have this country. You know, you can be an SJW over here, but you can't do it over there, you know. So all this stuff about, oh, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere is not even the real thing. And aside from the safety issue that they will face over in China, if they were to talk about Hong Kong over there, when they came back, that's when LeBron James said that. He did not say what he said at the beginning of this video in Shenzhen. He said it over here in the States. He wasn't going to say anything in China, but when he comes over here, he's still kind of like kowtows because of the money. When you over there, it's safety and money, but when you back over here, it's the money. China dominates the NBA many different ways. And it's been like that. The NBA has this facade of being about SJW stuff, but it's not really real, okay? Going back to the video I was talking about from Fox Sports 1, Rick Bucher said that the first major broadcasting deal between the NBA and China was in the year 1990. What happened just 1 year before that in 1989 in China? Take a wild guess. I'll give you a moment. Tiananmen Square. Okay, you have protesters in China getting massacred by the Chinese government. All right, so they didn't really care about that. It's like, you know, whatever. A few people got killed, no problem. Let's get this money. And that's the way it's been from the start. So I think the main thing here is to just highlight the hypocrisy and then show you how far the SJW stuff really goes. You can do it over here because of the way things are set up. But what about when you're facing some real harm to yourself? Are you really going to be about it? Are you really going to face going to the penitentiary, getting disappeared or whatever? An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. I can't tell. Look at what's happening in Hong Kong. Look at what's happening in some of these concentration camps they have in China, where if you're Muslim, you get forced to go over there blindfolded, you know, and you get quote unquote re-educated. All you're really going to do is be in a gulag somewhere making big rocks into little rocks. But I digress. My whole point here is that this just exposes the whole thing. Money talks, BS walks. Nike is a $38 billion company. NBA, $8 billion company. Nike dominates all of what the NBA uses, all their merch, all their jerseys, everything. And China dominates Nike. So how are you really going to break that? It's money that's involved. That's all that there is to it. If it were not a money situation, then LeBron would say whatever he wants. I just want people like LeBron and Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich and all these other SJW NBA personalities, coaches, and players to be consistent. If you're going to be about social justice, be about that all the time, not just when it's convenient. And if you're not going to do that, I know that this ain't really a real thing. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that it was appropriate for LeBron James and James Harden and Russell Westbrook and everybody over there in Shenzhen to stay quiet about the Daryl Morey tweet and about the Hong Kong situation? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or was it inappropriate? personally, if I'm going to do business with China, I'm going to abide by their rules. If I don't like what they're doing over there, I will not do business with them. It's as simple as that. There's no other choice you have. You're not going to be able to go over there, liberate Hong Kong by yourself. You know, with, you know, China has like what, a fifth of all humanity in their actual country. You're not going to go over there and liberate China. You don't have many choices. Abide by their rules and get money, or not abide by the rules and not get the money. That is it, and that is all. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.